this picture?
To support the kingdom work, expansion has recently been underway within the United States. This involves the construction of the New World headquarters at Warwick, along with 15 other buildings being dedicated at the 2017 annual meeting. Let's visit each site and see how these buildings affect us in our kingdom service and ultimately bring praise to Jehovah. Videos have become an important tool in our worship, and so the need to produce them faster and in greater quantity has risen dramatically. 5 years ago, the department produced one feature film each year, along with a handful of smaller videos. During 2016, that number grew to more than 350 productions. The existing facilities in Patterson consisted of 3 smaller studios. To produce more content simultaneously, a larger production space with multiple stages was needed. In early 2015, on Mount Ebo Road, a large building less than 5 miles away from Patterson was acquired. Originally built as a pharmaceutical warehouse, the building had more than 70,000 square feet of open space. Work began to convert the warehouse into one large sound stage and 2 smaller stages. Renovations were completed in December 2016.
The request for videos is certainly not slowing down. It's increasing. So we have scheduled for 2017 around 420 videos that will be used for various aspects of the organization. So we have seen the need to have increased personnel, increased facilities to accommodate all these requests. So we can see that Jehovah has raised up brothers and sisters, or gifts in men and women, that have been able to help produce the beautiful music we have, the videos that are touching minds and hearts.
Just 1 mile away from Mount Ebo, a 12,000 square foot building was purchased and converted into a carpentry shop for building props and sets. The Mountain View apartments were also purchased and renovated, providing housing for 100 Bethel family members. From the oversight of congregations and meeting arrangements to territory assignments and other aspects of the preaching work, kingdom activities are overseen by the branch committee with direction provided by the service department. In the United States branch, there was a need for expanded facilities to house these departments at Wallkill.
The work for the Wallkill expansion project was basically completed in November of 2015. It involved new construction for residence buildings, the new F garage, and the new office building. So between the new and the renovated facilities, it was over 1,118,000 square feet.
You had to remember, too, at the same time, all the departments are still running. You know, meanwhile, all these buildings are going up around us. I'm sure it didn't appear this way to the workers, but to us, it was like it was on a high-speed video at the rate that it went up. It was incredible.
It wasn't just their skills and expertise that they brought. It was their zeal, it was their joy, it was their positive attitude that they were able to maintain even despite the heavy workload. And that engenders appreciation and zeal among all of those who come in contact with them.
Many are taking advantage of tools such as JW Library and the JW Language app to read, study, and teach the Bible. The increased use of technologies like these has created the need for more computer engineers and other personnel to design, develop, and test this software. Workspace and housing for these volunteers is now being provided at the Rivercrest apartment complex in Fishkill. Another important concern of the United States branch involves caring for senior members of the Bethel family. To meet that need, work was completed in 2016 on Congregate North and South.
Congregate living is really home care.
home care for the most precious ones among our Bethel family.
We're surrounded by many wonderful brothers and sisters who are very hardworking and care so much about us. And this has touched my heart.
Blessings are being able to be with friends that we've known for years. It's like a reunion that doesn't stop. Jehovah's really taking good care of all of them.
The care that our dear older ones receive is outstanding. And it's true that we have people who care, but there's a reason. It reflects Jehovah's view of older ones. He says in Isaiah 46:4, "Until you grow old, I will carry you." And that's how those who've been trained by Jehovah treats the older ones. So it's really a loving atmosphere that they're in.
To receive and store building materials, a 220,000 square foot warehouse was purchased in 2014 in Montgomery, New York. At the Montgomery warehouse, materials were staged and residential bathrooms for Warwick were prefabricated, speeding up construction on site. The warehouse continues to be used as a storage facility for both the U.S. branch and the world headquarters. In 2014, 2 hotels were purchased, Newburgh Center A and Newburgh Center B. Being centrally located between all 3 sites, these hotels have been ideal for housing temporary workers and hosting guests visiting the Bethel facilities.
These hotels were a great help for the workers. They were going to be now closer to the project. Before, with that long commute from Brooklyn on the bus, that was tiring by the time they got to work. But now they were closer so they could get a little more rest in the evenings and the mornings and be more productive. These workers are lovable. You have to love them. You think about all the sacrifices. They left homes, old homes, left jobs, businesses, a family, friends, their pets. You thank them, but they thank you. They thank you for the privilege of coming, even though they're the ones that made so many sacrifices. So they're an encouragement to the rest of us.
The plan to relocate the world headquarters to Warwick goes back more than 8 years when we first purchased this 253-acre property, 50 miles northwest of Brooklyn.
Some of the reasons that Brooklyn was so advantageous no longer are such a key role for us. And then just the fact of living in a city that continues to get bigger and bigger, it created more and more complications, more costs. But I often think, even so, the real reason we moved out of Brooklyn is what the governing body has said from the beginning, that they are convinced Jehovah's Spirit directed them to move out of Brooklyn and to come up here to Warwick, New York. And we're looking forward. At some point in time, we're going to look back and we're going to say, what are all the other reasons why Jehovah directed that to take place?
The Warwick property included a number of abandoned buildings that needed to be demolished and removed. Once the site was cleared and plans were approved, construction began on July 29, 2013, and moved at a remarkable pace.
About 4,000 a day were coming to the site. Over 27,000 of our brothers and sisters worked here. Then you had everybody in Bethel, from the governing body all the way down to departments. Everybody was united in making this project a success. And there were challenges, but they would be settled in peace and love and all the qualities of Jehovah's Spirit. That is a modern-day miracle, especially when you think about the world we're living in that is so fragmented and lack of unity. And so you look at that, it just makes you so proud to be part of this organization.
I remember the first time visiting Warwick after completion. I call it a happy, sad moment. Happy because now the buildings were going to be used for the intended purpose, but sad because you didn't see the high-vis vests anymore. It was a beautiful scene with all those colorful vests, and now you didn't see them, so it was sad. You get choked up. You realize that behind every vest, it was a beautiful kingdom story, and you missed them.
The environment here at Warwick is just beautiful. It's quiet, it's refreshing.
And it makes me really appreciate Jehovah's creation around us. It's beautiful to be here, and I thank Jehovah for the privilege.
Warwick is a complex of 8 buildings, more than 1.5 million square feet of construction. Bethel housing is provided in 4 residence buildings with 569 rooms, along with another residence in nearby Sterling Forest with another 21 rooms. And just a short distance away is the Tuxedo facility. Computer department engineering and the broadcasting studio are located here, where the monthly broadcast is produced and now made available in over 130 languages. The Office Services Building primarily serves as the hub for most World Headquarters functions. The building also includes 3 exhibits where visitors can take self-guided tours. The Bible and the Divine Name, which features rare Bibles and highlights how God's name has been preserved in the Scriptures. The exhibit, A People for Jehovah's Name, a visual history of Jehovah's Witnesses, and World Headquarters Faith in Action, which explains how witnesses are organized to study, teach, and live by what we learn in the Bible.
You travel anywhere in the United States branch, or internationally for that matter, and there's someone who has worked on Warwick. And the feeling that you get is Warwick is not the world headquarters, it's our world headquarters.
I've heard a number say when they go back home, they're never going to be the same. Some have simplified, so they've moved from a big house to an apartment. Others have started pioneering, so that's what they're going to do. It's really been a witness to the witnesses.
Jehovah looks for opportunity to bless his people. That makes him happy. And you turn it around now and you look at all the work that's gone into this. When he sees all those who volunteered to come on the project, all of our brothers and sisters around the world who made donations, those who included it in their prayers, those who helped others to come, how proud that must make Jehovah. And he's just looking to bless them for that.
I sometimes try to imagine the conversations in heaven between the angels and the kings in heaven, and how they're so proud of all these workers down here. And no doubt many of them were involved in the project. We think of the workers here on earth, but how about the workers in heaven? They may have been involved in more than a few times with safety issues, with legal matters. So Jehovah was proud of everyone, his universal family, both in heaven and on earth, with these projects.
I feel it's going to build up the spirituality of our brothers and sisters as they come. And as we know, they're coming from all over the world. And that's only going to further advance the work.
These buildings are beautiful, and it's a beautiful setting that brings praise to Jehovah. But what will bring the greatest praise is how these buildings, these tools will be used to honor his name, to bring attention to his kingdom, to spearhead the preaching work. What these buildings will help the governing body accomplish will bring the greatest praise to Jehovah.